So how was the IFBB on the weekend?
IFBB was good. My first ever bodybuilding show.
Was that the first one you ever been to?
Yeah.
Wow.
Outside of an expo. So but anytime there was say at the Arnold's, I was coaching at strongman.
Yeah.
So
So you wouldn't be able to see it.
yeah. So I never watched a
I'll
show.
tell you what, the classic physique overall, that is the top three. I was like, that's a fucking good top three. Like, I haven't seen a top three like that quality, ever. It was amazing.
So obviously, virgin to bodybuilding, I was the stage presence of somebody. As a newbie, I was in the audience with Amanda, my friend from the Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So Amanda and her partner were down. So
Awesome.
I was sitting with her and we both have no fucking idea of what we were looking at.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
So I've got an idea. And then
The biggest, shreddest, most symmetrical person usually wins.
literally, right? And I was
Who composed the best.
when you're looking at all of them, it's very easy to tell. There was a guy up there. Oh my God, bless him, poor guy. Obviously something fucked up with his sodium because he was fucking cramping mid pose. So he was shaking and cramping, and then
that's so disappointing.
I felt gutted
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, it's all that work and then just
Couldn't show it off. He couldn't hold a pose. He was convulsing in a pose, and as soon as it cut off, and
hit the
they were
diuretics at the wrong time. No, I don't know.
I don't know, but
Anyway.
something fucked up.
Yeah, it's so bad when that happens. You feel so bad for them.
Oh, and then when it was the big battle, so I went and sat with the guys so they could explain to me what I was looking at because everyone looked so good.
Of course, yeah.
And but you just look at it was Jackson's stage presence.
Yeah, he's a
That
good
man
poser.
was not even smiling and just having fun with it.
Yeah.
And then the guy, I don't know his name.
Cam, it'd be Cam and
he
Jay.
came second.
Yeah.
So the guy that came second, Cam, there was this, I don't know, there was a pose off between the two of them. So all three of them were up there.
Yeah.
And they were doing a side chest. I know the one. And they were facing each other.
Yeah.
And it was just I was oh my God, this is what they mean when they say they're battling. Because I was what do you mean? They're just men in underwear that pose on stage.
Yeah.
And I was holy fuck. I couldn't look away. I was this is amazing.
It's pretty fun. When you're invested in it, it's good too.
It was really, really cool to see.
Yeah. Did you watch anything else? Did you stay for the...
I got there early. I didn't watch the bodybuilding overalls. So I watched the guy win the physique pro card. I went there
Oh, yeah. He was an amateur as well. A novice.
Second show.
Yeah.
It was his second ever show.
Yeah, they call it amateur, I think. Yeah. But it's crazy. And he walks away pro.
Literally.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And he was 23.
Yeah. He had a mean rig, though.
He was
It's
bubbly.
skinny waist,
it was bubbly.
Skinny waist, massive arms, good abs.
Unbelievable.
Someone give this man that pro
And
card.
no one knew he was going to be there. None of the Aussies knew. So when they were interviewing him, Tony was yeah, well, you shocked everyone. No one knew you were going to come here. And second show.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. There's an influx of jacked Asians in bodybuilding, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, they're jacked, mad as quads and shit. I'm
it's always the quads.
fuck,
isn't
they
it?
found it. They found the sport. It's you know why?
Go away.
Australia only keeps AFL for us. It's as soon as another country gets it, they're we're fucked. They're gonna be
100%.
better at us. Yeah,
Gatekeep it. Gatekeep
these
it.
guys are fucking gold medalists at weightlifting, and now they've found bodybuilding. We're doomed.
The physique guy was that was impressive to see.
Yeah.
Then I watched everything start to end of classic, and then I watched the beginning of bodybuilding, and then I took off.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to learn about classic now that I'm going to be invested
Yeah,
in the New
yeah.
York Pro.
Yeah.
So I'm
Classic's more popular in Australia, I reckon, than bodybuilding.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, most of the categories have more competitors now. I think it's a more realistic physique to attain. It's not
There was more.
when I say more realistic, it's still an exceptionally high amount of muscle mass, but it's very aesthetically pleasing on the eye. Where if you look at open bodybuilding, it's just they're so fucking massive.
They're nuggets.
Yeah, and you're well, what is it going to take to get to that? People just look and they're what are you going to look at? The one that's got mad lines, or the dude that's just? I mean, I obviously like the open bodybuilding because you're just more, but but for everyone else, it's so pleasing to see a really short, thin waist and fucking massive lats and shit.
They're beautiful. Classic.
Yeah, and the way they hit the poses.
Oh, it's beautiful to watch. But I think the other thing is there's more variation in body type in classic as well. Whereas everyone that's really like, after everyone that I was watching across like classic and bodybuilding, the best of bodybuilding, they are short.
Yeah, it's like my height.
Right.
You're
like
5'7".
Sorry, hun.
No, it's fine. I got one of the 5 criteria to be a good bodybuilder, just the height. 5'7".
That's it. Just keep up, bro.
Yeah. Where, classic, you can be a bit taller.
Well, that was the thing. Like,
but it still works against you, though.
Of course.
Because you've got to have so much muscle.
Of course.
So much.
Like, you're still looking for that shorter, but, like, the height variation, even in the top 3 for the overalls, was, like, varied. Whereas you looked at...
But they still would have been over 5'9", 5'10".
They looked tall to me.
Yeah, but that's tall for a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So if you're 6 foot as a bodybuilder, you're fucking huge.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. My client Matt's 6'5".
That's so fucking cool.
How much muscle you got to put on that man?
Like, literally, like, when I met him in person for the first... Well,
I wish I could just piece it on him like Iron Man's fucking shield.
Like,
I mean, it's kind of coming on like that, to be honest. But
when will he be competing?
We'll probably do season A next year. Maybe. We'll see.
Beautiful. And he's open now?
Nah, he'll make the weight cap for Classic.
Oh, no, sorry. I mean, he's not a junior anymore next year.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's a whole other ball game as well.
Yeah, so we got to see if we got to see how much weight we have in the weight cap. Because I think he can be 114 kilos on stage. So we need to see what we're working with. So I'm going to peel him down for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
We start next week, actually. So we'll have a look at the 10-week mark and we'll be like, cool, what's your body weight? How much more do we have to go? And then we'll assess, like, stage weight is most likely this. And if we've still got room in the weight cap, then we'll push it to season C.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, because we want to literally be on the weight cap. For the event. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, because he's too tall. Like, if he's not on the weight cap,
he's going to look skinny on stage.
Yeah,
like
he just won't look the same. It's a totally different ball game. The taller you are, the longer your muscle bellies. It's just, if you don't have the weight cap's there to obviously try and balance that, but
it's still
the smaller ones, the shorter ones, still look bigger.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's a whole other ball game. Well, speaking of your clients and competing, Mr. just got back from Sydney. How was Reese's show?
So that was
so fucking conditioned.
Yeah. You know what? I'm a little disappointed in my, so hang on. The weekend was amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And it was a fucking jam-packed 48 hours.
Yeah.
Landed, had to get his first coat, took straight to the event, because they were doing the tans there. Like, home, we were cooking meals for the next day, got him in bed by 9. We're talking shit, whatever. We're up at 5 a.m. the next day, drive to the event. Like, it was full on.
Yeah.
He came in great. We missed some timing stuff on the peak, and I could have brought him in better.
Okay.
And I was a bit disappointed with that. We both took ownership of the fact that we misread the guidelines for the peak, and we had a bit too much water on one of the days, because I basically was like, fuck it, just bring him in as big as we can. Because when you're peaking someone for a show, you basically decide, are you going to push heaps of fullness? Are you going to push conditioning? Obviously, you're trying to marry the two in the middle.
Yeah.
So I was just like, he's stringy as a motherfucker. Let's just put as much in as we can. And I got the peak right 2 weeks before that, but it's because we got everything right. And then I remember the night before, he said something like you had 4 or 5 liters of water. And I was like, you're not supposed to do that. But that was just in my head. And I'm like, he's already had it. So he was he's like, is that all good? And I was just like, yep, it's fine. And I was like, we're just going to have to see where we land in the morning. And then we landed in the morning. He's a little bit washed out. Just trying to pump him up. His just midsection was just too washed out. But there was nothing we could do about it. And even presentation-wise, we just needed to tweak a few of the poses. And when I say all this stuff, that's because this was the difference between coming first and coming second.
And it's your job to be proud but critical.
Yeah, no, I was, yeah, that's it. And it was like, I'm there to, keep him focused and keep him dialed in. I'm like, cool, eat this, eat that. The nutrition on the day we nailed.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was just the day before we just, I obviously assumed I gave him the protocol and I assumed that he read it and he must have just missed the row. So I was like, well, look, ownership is I'll have to tell you every day. So every day is you need this much water, this much food. Don't even if I update the protocol, I'll just tell you. Yeah. And then, on the day we were just tweaking some presentation stuff, like once he went out. And the second time he come around, he got better. And then over the day, he got better. So by the time we were in classic physique, he was looking sick.
Yeah, right.
But we were in classic physique for fucking fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, I was ecstatic for him and he was happy and I just wanted to make sure he had a good time. But then for me, I was like,
could have brought that.
That's the difference between first and second.
Yeah.
And that's how I fucking play in my head.
Yeah.
Never to them. Ever.
Of course.
I never sit there and go, we're winning this show. But I remember I messaged Steph and I'm like, we're fucking winning this.
Yeah.
Because I was just so confident. And then she was like, oh, that's great. And then that happened. I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
So that's just, and then even then, pure fucking ego.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
But I'm like, just a very competitive person. I knew that we could have gotten a bit more out of it. So that's where I was being super critical of myself. But the day overall, man, that kid posed the fucking house down.
Yeah.
Did not shake, did not change his pose. You could tell the conditioning. And I was making him pose. He was like, bro, are you sure I'm supposed to be posing 45 minutes a day? So for the last 2 weeks, I'm like, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Tabatas, 30 seconds, hold your pose. He's like, are you sure? He's like, everything hurts. And I'm like, trust me. And he got up there and he looked like a fucking statue.
Yeah.
And then you could see the other guys, they'd hit their pose and then they would hit their pose again and they would hit their pose again. And he would just maybe just a tiny bit of jittering. And I was like, that's a man who's fucking ready for war.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then with the open bodybuilding, they brought out 2 divisions together because it wasn't that many competitors.
Yeah. Yep.
So then they pushed them to the side and just made the 2 boys go head to head. Fuck me, was it good?
That would have looked insane.
There's no reason to do that if you know who's going to win. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to make them.
That's how close it was?
It was like Reese was inside out shredded. This kid had sick as abs. He was fucking wide as across the back.
Yeah.
So when one of them didn't have but he was smooth in the legs and Reese was peeled in the legs and Reese's legs were massive. And so it was they
had the opposite. If you combined them together.
They literally had the opposite kind of strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
So then I was in my head, I'm just if he just come in a tiny bit tighter, he would have beaten him. And that was the consensus across the board. They were the judges were it was a toss of a coin. So close, So that was fun. It was fun. It was a good show.
That's so good.
And then, obviously he was disappointed because he wanted to win.
Of course.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
So I had to go back backstage and kind of talk him off the ledge a little bit. But it was only did we bring our best? Did you do everything you were told? Did you leave every stone, turned over? He's like, yes.
Process driven.
And I'm like, well, what do we, and then, we had this plan to go out afterwards and have a meal and all that. And he's like, oh, I don't care if we have to just go back to eating and stuff. And I said to him, I'm like, if this guy doesn't turn up and you win and we look exactly the same, I said, what changes in your thoughts and your actions? And he was just like, it's a good fucking point.
That's a really, really good perspective.
Yeah, I'm like, if he doesn't rock up, I'm like, you look exactly the same. And you get your gold medal. We don't learn anything for the next show. And you go, you have your meal, and then it's back on the fucking horse tomorrow with us working towards a different package for this weekend. So it was good to put that perspective in there, which I think is a valuable thing to have. And I wasn't sitting there trying to make him feel better. I was just like, dude, this is it. You brought your best. You gave it everything you had. You put on a great show. And then I started showing him the photos, and he's like, oh, okay, I look pretty good.
Yay. Yeah. He's like, okay, maybe it is worth it, okay?
He was like, oh, I just thought I didn't put on a good showing. I'm like, bro, you have no idea. So then, it showed him and he's like, oh, I look pretty good. I was like, bro, wait till the professional photos come out. Like,
yeah,
it's going to be insane. So, and then after that, like, Classic was on. And we were just tossing up with Classic, like, should he do it, should he not? Just more for, just a bit of time.
Bit of exposure up there.
So then, like, he was tightening up over the day. By the time he got out, like, he was backstage, like, his abs were out and everything. And I was like, where was this morning?
Yeah, it's crazy how much a body can change in one fucking day in a prep.
It's insane. Yeah.
I am shook watching this process.
Such a fine process of, like, manipulating everything to... You're not trying to bring them in at a certain time, but you do need to know when that time happens and how long it lasts. And, like, we nailed it 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
But we just missed a few things. And obviously, like, the stress and we're running around and stuff where the mock peak week, like, we were just at home.
You can relax and not have...
And then, like, I pushed, like, literally, like, we have ranges that you drive carbohydrate intake for, and I went to the maximum.
Yeah.
So this time, we're going to go the other way because, like, we got some feedback and stuff. So, like, he's not short on muscle, especially in most of the shots. Legs are just... insane.
Yeah.
So this time round,
more front loading and then less.
We'll backload, but just literally 2 days before, moderate day, and then bring him in. Because I've got information where I saw one high day and then half of a moderate with the water and stuff, and I saw the photos, and I'm like, we need to bring this look.
Yeah.
And he's traveling as well, so it's just too fucking hard. So so this time I'll do that, and we'll bring him in a bit tighter, not as heavy. So it'll probably be 2 kilos lighter on stage, darker tan, and then we just tweaked his back pose and his abs shot.
Yeah.
And like, obviously if we went back the week, he would walk away with the first place, but who cares,
Cool. Now you got another couple of shows. You got 3 more shows to go.
Yeah. Oh, we got 200%, maybe 3.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's the game. And for me, I was like, I was just thriving in it.
Yeah.
Just talking about, like, bringing someone in with this condition and bringing someone in with this package. I'm like, I love this shit.
Yeah, it's really, like, I'm definitely understanding more of the appreciation for it now, and like just how meticulous the process is.
Yeah, and you have to be so prepared. Like, there's just... Even when I was watching others, like, it's just really disappointing to see someone go through, like, 6 months of, like, hell and then not have the preparation for the day.
Yeah.
Because it's not a dieting competition. It's a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
And you have to present yourself in a certain way for your criteria. And so many of them just didn't get maybe told that.
So they just
couldn't
got
pose.
To the smallest version of themselves.
Yeah, they just couldn't pose. Like, I was watching one kid and I'm like, you don't look prepared. Great physique, but just next to the boys, like, you can just tell it separates everyone.
Yeah.
And so there was 2 of them they put together, and they kind of just...
Everyone else.
This guy was, like, to the right. I'm like, fuck, it's so disappointing. If you learn how to pose, you probably would have moved up. That's just bad coaching, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it was good. It's fun. So this weekend we got the NBA Nationals, the Vic Show Nationals at the same time. So Reese will be there. I've got another competitor, Christina, after that in bikini doing her first show. So I've got a lot of beginners and first timers and stuff this year.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm one of the better people for that, I think, because just being a really laid back person when things are chaotic. Yeah, like, even if Reese is like, just the shit, I'm like, bro, just overthinking it, brother. Like,
there would be so much talking off the ledge, like, as you are at, there's so much, I guess, like, on the line, so to say, like what you said, like, you've worked so hard for so many months, and it all comes down to your minuscule time on stage, that so many variables
it's so special to people.
Yeah, so having a coach that making them feel like proud of what they bring whilst making sure you're being critical enough to make sure they bring their best.
Absolutely.
Whilst keeping them present to enjoy it. There's so many things to juggle.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And for me, the enjoyment part supersedes everything. Like, I didn't really enjoy my contest prep till the day, and it was basically just removed every person I hired, and Ben and I just took over.
Yeah.
And we had a good time. So for anyone's first show, I'm literally like, you just are here to have fun. You know, and I can get it. I can see how if someone's like caught up in the minutia of contest prep as a coach, they can make it worse for the athlete. Because they just worry about shit that they can't control anymore.
Yeah.
You know, where for me, being a little more experienced and just reading the room, I'm like, this person doesn't need that. They just need to be walking on stage with confidence.
Imagine how much you could have changed Reese's day if the day before you were like, oh, you fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah. It's like, let's go to the gym and jump in the sauna when you've already got your base coat on. Like, you know, or let's go for a walk. And
like, because you don't really respond to things emotionally. Like, you're very logic driven, obviously, and especially in your job. Like,
you have to be.
So you should be, yeah. But yeah, I can see how that would.
It's a terrible analogy, but I liken coaching to kind of like, you know, when you walk your dog and you feel a bit of fear from another dog or a person, so your dog feels it. Yeah. Coaching's exactly the same.
For sure.
If you feel any form of doubt, anger, concern, they're going to feel that. That causes more problems than anything. Especially like with the, you know, it's like, go and have fun, man. Like, you know, we're just going to see where we land. First show, whatever. You know, if it's different when the stakes are higher, you know. So like in Matt's circumstance, it's like the coach is holding that person to a high regard. The micromanagement is like, because that's the top of the sport. Yeah. So that's totally different. Same if we're like going for the win. Like if you literally are like, I'm here to go for the win. I've had a few shows on my belt. I've placed a few times. Like I've made improvements. Like I looked at the winner of last year and my pitches like match up. Yeah. That is totally different, you know, and that like I'll have people with that standard in the future, but it's like until then, you just got to work with the person that you have, and the task is that. It's like,
and their experience levels and their emotional.
Enjoy the fucking sport so that they can get to a position to maybe fight for the win. And sometimes, guess what? They win. Yeah. You know, I've had people where I'm like, yeah, we just go and fuck around and find out, and then we win. You know, yep. So it is what it is. But you can't control any of that too. So sometimes there's someone who's trained for 20 years, who's a novice, first timer, and they walk up there, and you're just like, cool.
In the instance of IFBB, the physique guy, everyone was betting on who was going to win the physique pro card, and he just comes from Singapore, and he's like, juices, clear.
Literally cannot pick it. Yeah. So it shouldn't really have a lot of, like, I get it's a competition, but it shouldn't have too much of a bearing on your own success of the comp. It's like, were you better if you've competed before? Yes, success. And then it's like, what's next? And if it's your first time, did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? Would you do it again?
You made it to the stage. Yeah, like...
The amount of people that don't make it is crazy.
I'm only just learning all of this now. Like, the amount of people that pull out in the less than 6 week mark...
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
...is insane.
Yeah, because it gets too hard. It's too hard. It's doubt.
The doubt creeps in.
You don't have a system. Your coach is probably not as supportive as they need to be. They don't know what the next moves are. Like, you know, there's just so much of it. How are we doing for time, Tam? We still got half an hour. Oh, sick. Yeah, so I thought he was walking away like, these guys are...
He's like, guys, hurry up. Yeah. Stop the yapping.
It's just so much to it. But it was a really good weekend. And I'm really looking forward to this weekend because it's like, I'm picking them up from the airport tonight, driving them to the hotel. I was like, you've got your food sorted, so they're going to cook it all tomorrow. We're going to meet at the gym tomorrow, like at Adrian's gym. Yeah. Adrian's coming. We're going to bring the camera. Beautiful. Going to do some like run-throughs in the morning. And then he goes and gets his 10. I said, tell him like fucking...
Dark.
Like, yeah.
Cultural appropriation dark.
Dude, yeah. I'm like, you need 4 or 5 layers. Yeah. You know, dark.
Well,